What was something that tipped you off about someone's kink before they told you outright? For me, during a fling I had with a guy, the second time we had hung out together, we were sitting on his bed together. He was sorta half lying down, half sitting up against the headboard. I was lying across from him, resting on my elbows with my legs outstretched and resting at his sides, so he was between them. Sounds like an awkward position when I describe it like that, but it was more comfortable than you think. We were just chilling and chit-chatting when he grabbed one of my feet and started cracking my toes for me while we were mid-convo. The reason I described how we were sitting in detail was so you can understand how he was able to do so with little effort because he didn't really have to reach for it or anything, and that was what made it not weird despite us not really being well acquainted with each other. Plus, I'm one of those people that loves cracking their joints, and I love when people want to crack my toes for me without me asking. Cracking my joints and cleaning my glasses for me are some of my favorite little acts of service, haha. So since he pulled it off so casually, that itself wasn't what really tipped me off. I've also had people crack my toes for me, without it being a kink thing. No, it was when, that night, we had ended up fucking for the first time, and he sucked my toes while he was balls deep in me, lol. Which was a generally amazing experience, and I think he bewitched me specifically with the toe sucking. But I digress. Then, a couple days later, we were hanging out again, and I asked him if he had any kinks or was into anything in particular. He thought for a second, and he was like, not really. Maybe feet. I was like, no shit, it didn't take a genius to figure that one out. We had ourselves a little laugh about it. It's not like he was exactly slick about it. It was those two things combined, especially so early into our fling, that made me consider he had a thing for feet. Anyone else have a similar experience with getting clued in on things someone's into without them verbally dropping hints? I want to hear silly sex stories, even if they're somewhat mundane just like mine. Doesn't need to be anything wild, but I'd enjoy those too, haha. Feisty Heman 1 18 9 hours 10 minutes. Lilka 3 33 68 11 hours 44 minutes. My current boyfriend, he was pretty touchy from date 1, caressing my thigh, sneaking a hand under the shirt on my back to gently touch and explore, without going straight for the obvious parts, looking at me like I was some sort of deity, lol. Turns out he has a body worship fetish. Yeah, no shit. We ended up kissing at the end of that first date. He initiated it, but sparks were flying from the beginning, so I went with it. He bit my lip and sucked my tongue. Turns out he can dominate like no other. Also, date 2, same guy, I played with the hair on the back of his neck a bit and he was way into it, even moaning quietly. He likes being dominated. No surprises there. All that stuff was just a huge advertisement of what he likes and what he's gonna be like, and he's everything I imagined and more. God, it's like having my own personal porn star.